writing ready to go. Let's make sure we got audio. Good day, good day. Welcome to the Impact Investing Show with your host, Samuel I Can Win, It Can Win. I hope that you guys are having a great day and that you're also ready to go. So let me know in the chat, guys, in the live chat, or if you're watching this on a replay, you can let me know in the comments. What I'd love to know is if you're here for the first time, simply just write the word new in the comments. If you're here for the first time, feel free to just simply write the word new in the comments. Or if you're someone who's back again, if you're someone who's been rocking with us already on the 21 days of property investing success, then you can just write in the chat ready to go, because you know what this is. Now, what we're going to do today is we're going to try to reduce all of the time that we could use in order to talk about things, and we want to jump straight into the content so we can give you ample value straight away. That's right, we want to give you guys ample value straight away. So I hope you're ready. Let me know in the chat if you are ready. If you are ready, then I should be seeing in the chat some comments from those who have been here before saying ready to go. Now, if you're not ready, that totally makes sense too, because you may be brand new. So just write in the chat NEW for new. Now I've got a few comments from admin saying no audio, can't hear you, can hear you now. Okay, excellent. So audio have picked it up and the team have got everything ready to go. Also, Kimwin, thank you for being in the chat. We just want to say a great big hi out to you. We got Gwee Gavin in the chat ready to go. Thank you for being ready to go, Gavin. We've also got Sabina Thorpe. Great to see you, Sabina, on the stream tonight. And you say hi. Hi back to you. Great to see you on our stream. And I hope you and the family are doing well. A great big happy new year to you, Sabina, because this is my first time, I assume, engaging with you this year. But guys, you know what? Nonetheless, happy new year, happy new year, happy new year. As most of you know, this is day 7, okay? And that's correct. Day 7 of the 21 days of property investing success. We've been speaking about property investing success. Property investing success. You see where you've got to slow down sometimes. We've been speaking about property investing success for 7 days straight. All right. And today is no different to any of the other days. All right. Now, one of the things that's really interesting is we had a few guesses coming in terms of what the principle was that we're going to be speaking about today. So Gavin, who's in the chat, we got your guess. We're going to be putting that on screen later on. Gavin had an idea of what he thought we were going to be talking about tonight. Now, we've spoken about 6 different concepts, 6 different principles to arm you guys with so that you guys can have success in your property investing going forward. Now, some of the people that are already tuning into this, I know this because I know you guys personally. Some of you have already received or achieved a certain level of success, all right? And some of you are at an early stage in your investing journey and you're looking for a certain level of success. First thing I want to do is, if you are someone who considers yourself as an experienced investor and you've been on more than today and you feel like you've got value, just write the word value in the chat. And if you're someone who feels like maybe you're an early stage property investor and you feel over the last 6 days you have received any kind of value, then equally just write the word value in the chat. And we are going to see if we have been giving you value so far up until day 7. Now, today is day 7. And no different to any other day, except actually slightly different. Today's slightly different to every other day because of this. 7 is my favorite number. So when I was preparing for tonight's stream, one of the things I said to myself is I want this to be my favorite out of all of the series. By the time we get to week 20, to day 21, look at me, week 21, I'm looking to really go in with you guys. But by the time we get to day 21, I want to be able to look back and say day 7 was my favorite. And it's funny because I spoke quite a lot yesterday in day 6 of the 21 days of property investing success about how we are going to get so much unpacked in tonight's show. And I shared that the reason we're going to get so much unpacked in tonight's show is because of one simple thing. Because when you build a foundation and you finish the foundation, that's when you look at everything you've built and you say to yourself, this is a foundation worthy of my 4 apartments I'm going to build on top of this, my dream home I'm going to build on top of this, my skyscraper I'm going to build on top of this, my property portfolio I'm going to build on top of this, or whatever else you intend to build on top. So let's jump straight in with a recap. Straight after the recap, we're going to jump straight into the disclaimer, and then straight after the disclaimer we're going to jump straight into the content for tonight's show, because I've got a lot to share with you guys and I want to give you guys so much value on tonight's show. Now, let me start by asking a question, okay? This question's a bit off topic, but how do you feel about the dark mode Okay, we've got a little dark mode going on tonight. We had a whole bunch of brightness day 1 to day 6. But I said to the team, look, let's try something different tonight. Let's try a dark mode. Okay, where the lights are a bit more dimmed, it's a bit more subtle, we got a bit more color. Let's see how that goes. So what do you think about the dark mode? Let me know in the chat what you guys think about the dark mode in the studio. All right, now, whilst you guys are letting me know about that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start our recap. I'm going to start breaking down exactly what we've already covered. Now, for some of you who are brand new, okay, for some of you who are brand new, you're going to be thinking, recap? You guys have already been unpacking this stuff. The answer to that is absolutely yes. Okay, we've been unpacking this stuff for 6 days in a row. Today is day 7, and today is no different, except for the fact that 7 is my favorite number, and I'm expecting for tonight's show to be effectively my favorite show. It might be because we went for the dark mode. It might be because we got the neon lights. It might be because of a few things. I don't know. But the reality is I want tonight's show to be the one that is remembered. Now, session number 1. We had day 1. And on day 1, we spoke about a concept which is phenomenally important. I shared with you guys on day 1 that our day 1 topic was the main reason why most people fail in their property investing success, okay? The main reason why most people fail in their property investing success is because they do not know what they actually want, okay? I'll say that again. The main reason why so many people fail at property investing success is because they do not know what they actually want. And the statement, the mantra I continue to share on day 1 is, if you do not know where you're going, all roads lead there. And we were hammering that on day 1 because we really wanted you guys to take that home. We really wanted you guys to understand that. We really wanted you guys to get a big, strong grasp of that concept, that if you do not know where you're going, all roads lead there. All right. So the first point of call for us to understand, the biggest thing we have to overcome before we in order to start building a foundation, the first thing we needed to understand is what we want specifically. What do you want specifically? Okay, that's a great question sometimes to wake up in the morning and ask yourself as a first point of call. Like, you wake up in the morning and just ask yourself sometimes, what do I want specifically? And that's the key word, specifically. Okay, specificity is the thing missing from most people who do know what they want but don't really know what they want. Okay, so I want you to ask yourself that question: what do I really want as it pertains to property investing success? Now look, all of these principles, I shared this in day 1 as well, all of these principles can be extrapolated and used in other areas of your life. It can be used in your health, it can be used in your wealth, it can be used in your family, it can be used in relationships. But the point I'm making is, this platform is a space for us to talk about property investing success. So that's why we're talking about property investing success. But what I want you to understand is that you can take that concept, you can extrapolate that idea, what do I really want specifically, and employ that in your marriage, employ that in your relationship, employ that in your connection with your children, employ that in your look on politics, okay, etc., etc. So to get us started tonight, that's the question I want us to be asking ourselves. What do I want specifically? And that is what we shared on day 1 in order to help you guys start building a foundation. Then we shifted in day 2 into a tool, a principle that is going to help you keep in good stead in order to go all of the way to your property investing success. And that tool that we shifted to is the tool, the power of metacognition. Now, I explained to you guys on day 2 that metacognition is a long word, okay, with a very simple meaning. And all metacognition means is thinking about your thinking. I'll say that one more time. All metacognition means is thinking about your thinking. And I gave you guys on day 1 and also on day 2 a book recommendation on each day, as well as a video recommendation for your homework, for your perusal on each day also. Now, the recommendations I made on day 2 were going to set you up for lifelong success, okay? And again, like I said, you may choose to leave property. You may choose properties not for you in the long run, but the tools and the resources that I've shared with you on day 2 will still support you regardless of whether you stay or go in terms of property. All right. So day 2, we spoke about metacognition, knowing what you want in day 1. And in day 2, we really emphasize the power of being able to think about your thinking, being able to scrutinize your thinking. And I shared with you guys that the people who have the ability to scrutinize their thinking are the people who 9 times out of 10 are able to pivot their businesses in current climates like the ones we see ourselves in now, without anybody telling them they need to do it, without anybody saying to them, you should make some changes. You see, the power of thinking about your thinking is the fact that it gives you a power of autonomy. It gives you an ability to be autonomous, to get up and go, to make things happen, which connects with what we spoke about yesterday on day 6, but we're not going to jump like that. Let's go into day 3. Now, day 3 was the bombshell. I shared with you, and this is the thing, guys. I think some of you might think to yourself, how does Samuel know when it's going to be a jam-packed session? And guys, listen, I have been speaking to people on the topics of personal development, property investment, wealth, health. I've been coaching people for over a decade. Okay, I've been coaching people for over a decade. And let me tell you something. When you work with people in a sincere fashion for over an extended period of time, you get to a place where you start to understand the concepts and the power of certain concepts, and how the power in those concepts will become game changers if you decide to talk about them. And this is why I set up day 3 by telling you guys I knew day 3 was going to be a bombshell. I knew day 3 was going to affect people cognitively. And that's the reason why day 3 we decided to speak about vision. Okay, and on day 3, equally like the days previously, I gave you guys a book recommendation, I gave you guys a video recommendation, and I said to you guys, are you ready to go? Because day 3's concept, if I go deep enough in day 3, which I feel like I kind of did, you won't even need day 4, day 5, day 6, day 7, day 8, day 9, day 10, day 11, all the way to day 21. I shared that with you guys, okay? If I didn't share that, tell me I'm lying in the chat, guys. But I shared that with you on day 3 because I knew if you took the concept that I shared with you guys about vision on day 3, you would be, even right now, you will be well equipped to achieve property investing success when you understand the power of a vision. I shared with you guys a verse out of the Bible. It was Proverbs 29 verse 18. And in that verse, it says, without a vision, the people perish. And I shared with you guys that I significantly believe that that is how powerful vision is. If you do not have a vision for your property investing success, then your property investing success is doomed to perish, is doomed to die. And this is what happens to so many people. You see people, they go out there, they do 1 or 2 projects, they do some great projects, they have the whole world hailing them. They might end up in a magazine, and 2 or 3 months later, because there was no vision, all of that property investing success effectively perishes. They don't keep going. They don't go to the next level, or they don't go to the level they actually desire to get to because their focus was on their previous success. I've shared this with you guys in one of the days previously. I'm going to share it with you again. For those of you who are brand new, who are just taking some new value, have your notepads, have your pens, okay? Have your journals, guys. Be ready. Be at the ready to take notes when I am going to share today. You need to be able to pick up what I am putting down. I hope you understand that. You need to be able tonight to pick up what I'm putting down. Now, one of the concepts I shared on a previous day, I'm going to share it with you guys again, and that is a concept that comes from John Maxwell. John C. Maxwell, who's a leadership expert. One of the powerful, most profound concepts he talks about all the time is that the enemy, the biggest enemy of your next success, the biggest enemy of your next success is actually your last or most recent success. Okay? Now, for many people who are, not really into what we started to speak about on day 5, which I'm coming to in a minute. For many people who are not, let's even take it backwards to make it simple. For many people who are not into metacognition, for many people who do not scrutinize their thinking or who do not think about their thinking, they don't realize the power of your previous success. They don't realize that when you were previously successful at something, sometimes it makes you lethargic. Sometimes it makes you relax. Sometimes it makes you say, you know what, it's okay. I've done more than the rest of them. I don't really need to do anything else. Guys, let me assure you that one of the biggest enemies of your upcoming success, of your next success, of your 21 days to your property investing success, some of the biggest enemies to the success that we are talking about, trying to equip you and hand to you through this YouTube series, I can guarantee you are embedded within your previous successes. You see, when you say to yourself, I've already got a portfolio, I already understand how to make money from property. You see, those are the things, those are the thoughts, those are the concepts, the ideologies that are stripping you from your next level. Okay? Because let me put it this way. I shared it in one of the previous episodes. I believe it was episode 3. You're only tuning into this either to help me or to help you. That's how it works. It's not more complicated than that. You're tuning into this because I like Samuel. I want to spend some time with Samuel. I love supporting Samuel. I know Samuel's a great guy. I know he's here to help people. So I want to go and support Samuel. That's one way. Okay? And thank you if you like me. Thank you if you're here for me. I appreciate you if you're here for me. But there's another group of people who are not here for me. They're here for you. They're here for them. They're here for themselves. And that group of people, again, there's no good, there's no bad, there's no right, there's no wrong. But that group of people, I can assure you, will take the most amount of success out of this engagement, will take the most amount of productivity out of this engagement when they wrap their head around a simple concept. And that is, I need to ensure that my most recent success does not become an enemy of my newest success. I need to make sure that my most recent success does not become an enemy of my progress. So that was vision on day 3. And like I said, we went in, we dropped the bombshells. Day 4, guys, day 4 was the turnaround. Day 4 is when I went introspective with you guys. And I said, you know what we're going to talk about? We're going to talk about faith and fear. We're going to talk about those instances where you see a property opportunity right in front of you and fear allows you to say, you know what? I'm not going to take a step forward. For some reason, I'm not going to take on this project. For some reason. And guys, I'm not talking about when you've done your due diligence and your due diligence says this isn't for you. I'm not talking about when you've run the numbers and the numbers have said this is below your ROI threshold. I'm not talking about when you've looked at the credibility of the deal and said this is not a credible deal. I'm talking about, and listen, any single person who's been investing in property seriously for longer than 12 months would understand exactly what I'm talking about. I'm talking about when a deal drops on your table, you take the same amount of time to do all the due diligence you usually do, and the deal's still around because you say to yourself, this deal looks like it could be a real deal. And then you look into it a little bit more and you say to yourself, this actually really looks like this could be a good deal, a great deal. This could actually be a great deal. But then you don't do the deal. Why didn't you do the deal? Why didn't you do the deal? For some of you who are watching this, you're going to say to me, oh, because by the time I got back to the agent or by the time I came back to the vendor, okay, I get it. But for many of us, and I say us because we are all in the same boat, I can assure you I've been there in the past before, and it wasn't until I started to utilize what I was sharing with you guys on day 4, understanding when I'm afraid and understanding when I'm operating in faith, that I was able to overcome those hurdles and tackle them slightly differently. And this is why on day 4, I gave you guys a book recommendation and I spoke to you guys about the difference between faith and fear. And I spoke to you guys about how you can overcome fear in order to succeed. Because that's what you're here for. That's what I want you to be able to achieve. Property investing success will come to you when you get better at managing the art of your faith and your fear. And that led us on to day 5. And in day 5, we spoke about personal development. And I shared with you guys on day 5 that personal development is your fastest route to success. I shared with you guys, listen, let me say this, haven't said it already. For those of you who are brand new, for those of you who are tuning into this engagement for the first time, okay? First and foremost, if you resonate with anything I'm saying at any point, what I want you to do is hit the like button, okay? If you hear something and you're like, you know what, Samuel, you're talking to me. Or you know what, Samuel, that's a real gem. Or you know, guys, if you get value at any point throughout this content, what I want you to do is hit the like button. Now, side by side with that, if you've hit like already, okay, rather than hitting the like button twice, you only need to hit the dislike button twice ever. You never need to hit the like button twice. But if you want to hit the like button a second time, just write the word value in the chat. Okay, write the word value in the chat, hit the share button, share this with other people in your community. I can guarantee you, you will have another friend, another family member, or a follower who's interested in this content too. Okay, so if you want to show some appreciation, if you're getting value, you know what to do. Okay, take full advantage of the YouTube experience. But let's keep going deeper. So we spoke about personal development. And I said to you guys that personal development is your fastest road to cash. Personal development is the fastest route from where you are right now. It's the bridge. It's the shortest bridge from where you are right now to the property investing success you desire to have. Personal development is exactly what that is. Guys, you see, your whole life can change when you decide to embark, when you commit yourself to embarking on a personal development journey. Okay, I made that decision in 2005. I shared with you guys yesterday, I think I've taken it downstairs to the library, but I shared with you guys yesterday the first ever personal development resource that I ever bought. Okay, the first ever personal development resource I ever bought. Guys, do you think I regret buying that resource? The answer is no way. Because that first resource radically changed my life. It opened up doors for me to buy other resources, for me to go on courses, for me to go on training, for me to look at things differently, to see the world differently, to see people differently, to see the unlimited potential within humanity. Guys, everything changed when I started to engage with the closest, the shortest, the fastest bridge from where I was to exactly where I wanted to be, from where I was to exactly where I wanted to have. Personal development is your fastest vehicle from where you are to the property investing success you are looking for. And as I mentioned to you guys, when we hit day 8, which is as of tomorrow, we are going to get very practical in terms of some of the things we're talking about. We've been speaking about things which in my opinion are extremely practical, but we've been dealing with a lot of the mindset stuff. We've been trying to get into the landfill of your mind in order to help you push forward. But when we hit Friday, when we hit tomorrow, the 8th of January, day 8 of this 21 property investing success journey, that's exactly when we are going to start taking off the bonnet and showing you guys some of the material within the engine of this beast of property investing success I'm talking about. We're going to be speaking about the keys which are all embedded within the sourcing blueprint which I created some time back. We're going to be talking about marketing. We're going to be talking about managing. We're going to be talking about measuring. We're going to be talking about maturing. And for those of you who have never heard of half of the things I just mentioned, go to the link www.sourcingblueprint.com. Go get your free blueprint. Okay, because we've been giving out these blueprints for a very, very long time. And I can assure you that these blueprints are a great insight for you to understand how you can radically change your property investing experience. Now, if you guys want the link, just write the word link in the chat. Okay, whether it's live, whether it's on replay, and I'll get the team or myself, I'll throw that link in the chat for you guys to go and get your sourcing blueprint absolutely free. Okay, sourcingblueprint.com. Go and utilize the link. So this is why it's so important to understand about personal development. Personal development is your fastest road to the success you are attempting to achieve. Personal development. And lo and behold, we then had day 6. Now, day 6, we got to speak about one of my favorite concepts, okay? Yesterday, we got to speak about one of my most favorite concepts, and that is the concept of momentum. Yesterday, we spoke about momentum. We spoke about momentum being the name of the game. We spoke about the fact that if you utilize momentum, you can change everything in your experience. Yesterday, I shared with you that momentum creates 3 other things. Momentum creates a following for you. Momentum creates a sense of urgency for you. Momentum creates experience for you. These were the 3 foundational pillars that I said to you are a byproduct of momentum. Let me ask you this question. Are you ready to build some more momentum in your own life? You see, today, guys, I'll give you an example of today. Today, I used momentum. Okay, today I used momentum, guys. I try my best to use momentum every day in my property business, but I can tell you today I used momentum. I'll give you an example. If you want an example, just write the word example in the chat. Momentum is the name of the game. Momentum is one of the biggest and best game changers that you can have. Guys, I want to encourage you to start using momentum. Now, with that being said, that was day 1 to day 6 recap. I'm now going to read our disclaimer before I jump into the content for tonight. Are you ready for the content for tonight? Let me see 5 readies in the chat so I can know that you guys are ready and you guys want me to turn it up. All right. So here's our disclaimer. All information provided and results given are exemplary. Each person's results may vary or differ. Results are based on consistent strategies, and we advise that you always, yes, always seek legal and financial advice from a qualified professional. Are we ready to go for tonight's show? Are we ready to go for tonight's show? Disclaimer done. Disclaimer done. The guys are here. I'm ready to go. I can assure you of that. Let me know if you guys are ready to go. We got the lights dimmed. We're in dark mode. Gavin says, like in the dark mode. Dark means pay attention. I like that. I like that. I like that. I haven't heard that before. Powerful statement. Thank you for sharing that, Gavin. And guys, like I've said, if you are getting value, hit the like button. Side by side with that, let the YouTube world know that you're getting value from this by hitting like, pressing subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. And side by side with all of that, feel free to share this content so other people can jump onto the journey also. Let's make this happen, guys. Let's make this happen. All right, now, first and foremost, before I even jump into tonight's content, you guys ain't ready. So if you guys ain't ready, let me get the admin out of the way. I just want to say a great big congratulations. We had KTR in the chat yesterday who won these 3 magazines, okay? Property Investors News, October, November, and December's edition because of her quick fingers in the chat. Now, because KTR was so adamant on letting us know the answer to the question that we put out there yesterday, she was able to win those 3 magazines, which will be in the post to her shortly. So a great big thank you to her. KTR also let me know yesterday that she was the person who purchased one of the items that recently came through for our upcoming studio build. So guys, if you're interested in participating in our upcoming studio build, participating in any way, shape or form, buying some of the equipment so that you can be a contributor and a collaborator for our new purpose-built content creation studio, then you can use the link which is on the screen right now in order to be a part of our upcoming studio build. That is impactproperties.co.uk/studio build, and that will take you to our Amazon wish list where a number of pieces and components of our equipment list are on there, which we will be buying over the next few weeks in order to build out our new content creation studio. So you can be a part of that by going to the link impactproperties.co.uk/studio build and being a part of our build in that regard. Now guys, I'm still waiting for some ready to goes. I had some ready to goes earlier, but I thought we would have had some more ready to goes. Are we ready to go? Let me know, guys. Let me know if we're ready to go, because tonight's show, I'm telling you, you want to jump into this concept. You want to jump into this concept we're going to be speaking about. I can assure you about that. Let me even show you guys something real quick. I mentioned earlier on that we had a guest. We had a guest from Gavin specifically. So let me see if I can bring this up. Gavin, I hope you don't mind me sharing the message that you sent over to me. Let's see. Okay, looks a bit small, so I do apologize, guys. You can't see it properly. Let's see if the team can increase the size. That would be helpful. There you go. Now you can't even see me. Thank you, team. It says, morning. I forwarded your 21-day YouTube link to several people. I hope viewers truly grasp what you're saying. No one else is doing what you're doing, so keep going. I'm always behind the live show due to commitments, but love your words. Day 7. I'm guessing is human focus. So this was Gavin's guess, guys. Seriously though, I've just got so much time for your work, Gav. Gavin, thank you ever so much for your comment first and foremost. It is heavily appreciated. All right, guys, let me say this. Many people don't realize that it takes a minute to send a message like that. It takes 2 or 3 minutes to put some thoughts together, articulate those thoughts, metacognition, think about your thinking, and deliver a message like that, okay? But a message like that can have massive effects. A message like that can be the difference between someone deciding to keep on the momentum or someone deciding to slow down. That can make the difference between someone deciding to turn it up and go to the next level or someone deciding, you know what, let's just pack it in. All right, guys, so I want to encourage you to be encouraging the people around you with their property investing success. I want you to understand what I'm talking about, okay? So the same way Gavin's encouraged what we're doing on the show, what you have to understand is there's people around me, whether they be my coaching clients, whether they be my actual students, that I have to purposefully encourage them in their journey as well. And I just want to encourage you to do the same. Okay, so think about the people closest to you. Think about the people you want to succeed in their property investing journey. And then ask yourself, when was the last time you encouraged them in their property investing journey? When was the last time you said to them, hey, Sabina, I hope you're winning on your property journey. Is there anything I can do to help you win more? If there is, let me know because I'm rooting for you. It's that real, guys. It's that real. Okay, it's literally that real. It doesn't take what some people think it takes in order to support someone else to be successful. Okay, I'll say that again for those of you who are taking notes, those of you who've come on with your pens, papers, journals, notepads, iPads, tablets. It doesn't take what some people think it takes in order to support someone else on their journey. Guys, go support people. Even if it's just people in the chat, even if you're just seeing people in the chat who you know, who you recognize from some point in the past, or even if it's someone new that you're connecting with. Encourage them. Let them know. This is one of the things I like when the admin, when they see someone say, hi everybody, happy new year, and all of those things like on day 1, day 2, and you see the admin will come back and say, happy new year to you. How are you doing? Hope you've had a great year so far. Hope you've had a great day so far. Guys, it doesn't take what people think or people make it sound like it takes in order to encourage someone else, in order to support someone else on their property investing journey. Now, you guys want me to work with the ready to goes that came earlier on for some reason. I don't know why that is. You guys don't want to give me any more ready to goes. So either way, we are going to go. I want to give you guys the value that you showed up for. So let's jump straight into it. On tonight's day 7 of property, of your 21 days, of your 21 days of property investing success, tonight for day 7, we're going to be talking about something slightly different. And guys, I didn't want to let him down, but I'm going to let you know, unfortunately, we're not going to be talking about focus. Okay? But the powerful thing about what Gavin said, is it human focus? Is that human focus is actually embedded within what we are going to be speaking about on day 7. Okay? What we're speaking about today, human focus, is a byproduct of exactly what we are going to be unveiling to you guys tonight. I'm going to make another book recommendation as I usually do. Okay? Now, on the first few days, we were making video recommendations. Let us know if you still want the additional video bonuses as well. We can throw them in, okay? But we are going to continue with the book recommendations because these books are books that will help you change your life, okay? If you take time to read, if you take time to embrace the messaging that comes from these books, these manuals, these resources, then you're setting yourself up for the success that will come as a byproduct. So let's jump in deeper. For day 7, on tonight's show, as I've mentioned, we're going to be talking about something which human focus is actually a byproduct of. We're going to be talking about something which one of the viewers actually mentioned on yesterday's show. For day 7, the key principle that we have to understand, the key principle that we have to grasp, this key concept, this tip, this technique, this methodology, which will set us apart and establish our foundation, is the concept of commitment. For day 7, what I want you guys to understand is that commitment is the final part of your foundation. Okay, commitment. Commitment. We spoke about commitment on day 5 slightly when I said you need to be committed to your personal development. Okay, but what I want everybody who's tuned in now to understand is that commitment is such a crucial component to the completion of our foundation that we need to apply commitment to every single component we've spoken about previously, as well as every single component we will talk about going forward from here. Now, what you have to understand is that commitment is the glue which holds it all together. If you are committed, you will remain focused, for example, okay? So that just ties in exactly what Gavin thought when he said, are you going to talk about human focus? Human focus is a byproduct of real commitment. You must be committed. You see, nobody achieves property investing success without commitment. It's impossible. Let's just use that as a terminology. It's impossible. Because how are you going to lack commitment but yet receive and reap the rewards of commitment? You see, success is the reward of commitment. I'll even go further and say this to you guys. You've probably never heard this before, but I'm going to be this bold and share this with you as well. Failure is also the reward of commitment. Okay, write that down. If you're one of those people who are taking notes, as you all should be, write that down. Both failure and success are the rewards of commitment. You see, when you think about that statement, the way I've just shared it with you, both failure and success are the rewards of commitment, that will put you in a position to ask yourself a powerful question. And that question would be, which one do you want? What do you want to be committed to? Do you want to be committed to failure? Or do you want to be committed to success? Both failure and success are both the rewards of commitment. Let me go deeper, okay? Let me know if I can go deep, guys. If I can go deep, let me see the word deep in the chat. Now, a statement I heard a number of years ago, roughly 2006, the statement was that success is hidden in your daily routine and failure is hidden in your daily routine. Okay, I want you guys to understand that your success, your property investing success, is actually hidden within the activities of your daily routine. So if you wake up late, if you do nothing to do with your property investing success, and then at the end of 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 2 months, 4 years, you ask yourself why you haven't achieved any property investing success. Well, your failure was actually hidden. It was embedded within your daily routine. It was hidden and embedded within the things you were doing each and every day. And if the answer to what you was doing each and every day was not much as it pertains to your property investing success, then I'm sure you understand that your failure would come fairly speedily, fairly quickly. But side by side with that, if you were adamant on a day-to-day basis that you were going to take actions on a day-to-day basis which were going to result in success, your success will equally be hidden in your daily routine. Both success and failure are hidden within our daily routine. Commitment is the key to producing your success, and commitment is equally the key to producing most people's failure. So a question you might have is, how do I stay away from failure and how do I guarantee my success as it pertains to property investing? Now you've got to remember, we're looking at 21 days of property investing success. And I shared with you guys on the last 2 days, before we can start going into practical steps of things you can do, etc., in terms of like the property market per se in this current climate, the first thing you need to do is have your mind right. You need to be seeing things correctly. You need to be positioned and approaching things correctly. So let's jump a little bit more into this. How do you ensure that you're getting success, okay? Because that's what we want to do. We want to get success in terms of our property investing. And how do we ensure that we are leaving failure? How do I ensure that I'm getting success, but I'm leaving failure as it pertains to my property investing? Okay? Now, I'm going to start with the easy way, because the easy way is firstly the way that we should all peruse. It's the first way that we should all think about, oh, could this work for me? Okay? The first way is through means of coaches, mentors. Okay? Coaches, mentors, teachers. Now, for those of you who've been following me or engaging with me for a while, you would know that I break down this concept very well, the difference between coaching, teaching, and mentoring. They are three completely different things. Okay? I believe if you want to learn more about that, you can go and watch episode 35 of our live show, where we show up every Saturday at 6 p.m. in order to give you value. I believe it's episode 35 where I made a very in-depth breakdown of the differences between coaching, teaching, and mentoring. But the point is, that's one of the first easy ways in order for you to start on the route of commitment towards success. Because a coach, a teacher, and or a mentor can show you the activities that need to be carried out on a regular basis in order for you to unravel the success that's hidden within your daily routine. You see, a coach, a teacher, and or a mentor will show you what you need to be focused on in terms of activity. You see, there's lots of people who spend most of their days scouring Rightmove and saying they're property investors. You see, let me say this. You see, your endeavor to scour Rightmove and look at property does not make you a property investor. And I'll go even further to say it definitely does not make you a successful property investor. You see, the process of becoming a successful property investor is very much a byproduct of all of the things we've been speaking about over the last few days. You start off by knowing what you want. You then transition into a space where you can critique your thinking and think about things differently. You then transition to a position where you articulate a vision for yourself and your partners or your team members, your business associates. Then from there, you start to manage the imbalance and balance of faith and fear so that you can put yourself in the right position to now implement personal development. Now, personal development is the activity. That might be, today I'm going to call 3 estate agents. Today I'm going to seek out 3 new investors. Today I'm going to march the area that I'm investing in. Today I'm going to personally develop. I'm going to develop myself in this endeavor. And then you move into what we spoke about in day 6, where you start adding momentum, and that is basically cranking it all up. That's saying, you know what, I've been doing these things and I want to make sure that they work, so I'm going to do more of them. And some of you will know on one of the previous days I spoke about when you examine a business at a larger level, you get to see where the holes are, you get to see where the problems are. But then after you start to put in momentum, you need to get committed. You see, if you start to put in momentum, it only makes sense to then become committed. It only makes sense to then start saying to yourself, how much can we commit to this? What does commitment to this endeavor look like? What does it look like to be committed to property investing success? You see, I want you guys to start thinking about that. You see, what does it look like to start committing yourself to your property investing success? Let me ask you a question. This is a question I ask myself quite often. The question is, what are the commitments of the kind of person who has exactly what I would like to have? Okay, if that question wasn't deep, I don't know what you're looking for here, guys. If you believe that was a deep question, I want you to write the word deep in the chat. Okay, I'll ask the question again for you guys so you can see exactly where I'm coming from with this. You see, sometimes you have to ask yourself, what are the commitments of the type of person who has exactly what I am planning to have? Now, let's bring this into the context of property investing success so you guys understand what I'm talking about. What kind of commitments do the kind of people who have the level of property investing success have that I'm trying to have? This is something we need to think about, guys. What kind of commitment do those people have? You see, I know some people, I say this to you guys because some people think this isn't the reality. I really want to make this real for you guys, okay? I know some people that when you say to them, how many phone calls did you make today? You see, I've got some students. Let me use some of my students. I won't be using any names, okay? I'll leave them anonymous so they don't feel embarrassed right now. But this is part of growth, guys. This is part of growth, and this is why I get paid, because I help them to move through this experience with comfortable hands so that they're safe as they go through this experience, and they don't have to go through this experience with the world beating them up throughout this experience. But let's go into this anyway, because I want to give you guys some real value. I want to get deeper on this. You see, I say to some of my students, I say, how many calls did you make today to estate agents? Okay. And sometimes I might get a student who's like, I didn't make any calls today, Samuel. Okay. Now, if you're a surface level coach, you got your answer. So you move on to something else. But if you're one of those coaches who like to get beneath the surface, you're going to ask the question, why? Why didn't you make any calls to any estate agents today? For example, if that's the strategy, if you're working with estate agents, why didn't you make any calls to any agents today? Why? You see, when you hear the answer to the why, you can then determine whether the answer 0, because that was the number they gave you, 0, was the right number or not. Now, for me, 9 times out of 10, 0 is not the right answer, which is why I would say why in the first place. But let's keep going. So I'm now going to ask the question, why? Now, this is the thing. Extremely interesting, but this is the thing. When I ask why, from time to time, I've had students who might say to me, I had to do the school run. You see, right now we got lockdown, so we don't get those excuses from our coaching clients at this present time. Our students are a bit more sharper now because they know they can't use certain excuses. But the point is, in the times that have passed, someone might have said to me, oh, Samuel, I had to do the school run. I had to drop off my child, and then I had to pick up my child. Okay, I had to do the school run, and that's cool. We've got to do the school run. Some people have got to do the school run. If you homeschool, you haven't got the school run, but you got something else like the school run. Okay? But why am I bringing this up? I'm bringing this up because when you ask yourself the question, what kind of commitments do the kind of people have that have the level of property investing success that I'm trying to have? You see, what's going to happen is you're going to realize that they might have had to do the school run too. You're going to realize that they're going to potentially have children too. You're going to realize that they had to do the school run, but they still got the property investing success today that you left on the table. You see, this is the power of commitment. You see, commitment makes you remember that there's someone out there. I remember someone asking me this before. I remember someone saying to me, do you believe that there is a person out there who's the same ethnicity as you, race as you, similar age to you, similar family makeup to you, who's wealthy? And then they asked me the same question retrospectively. They said, do you believe that there's someone out there who's the same race as you, ethnicity as you, similar family makeup as you, similar family to you, same height as you, who's poor? You see, when I was asked that question, at the time, my answer to both was yes. Like I believe there's someone who's 6'2", who grew up in East London, who's from an African descent. I believe that there's someone with very similar characteristics and traits to me who has more wealth than me right now. I believe that. I strongly believe that. I equally believe that there's someone with a very similar makeup to me who has, quote unquote, if you use this as a terminology, less wealth than me. You see, the thing that's interesting about that is the person then said to me, well, if you believe that that's true on both sides, what you should then understand is the only difference between person A and person B is their decisions and choices. You see, at the time, I didn't really understand that concept of decisions and choices. Maybe because decisions and choices didn't sound how I think it was supposed to sound in order for it to make as much sense. But I've got to a place where I've been able to boil that down, not to decisions and choices, but to something that causes our decisions and choices, which is our commitments. You see, the question is, who are you committed to? The question is, what are you committed to? You see, when we start talking about commitment, we start putting ourselves in a position, predicament, environment where we start to understand that the people who are operating at this very time that we speak at the level of property investing success that you desire for yourself, that you desire for your coaching clients, that you desire for your students, that you desire for your friends, your family, your followers, your loved ones, the same people that have exactly what you desire to work towards, that you aspire to have as well, they have the same, if not even more, commitments. They're committed to similar things. They're committed to their family. How many people do you know who says, you know what, they want to have a rubbish family life? How many people do you know who say, you know what, they don't quite care much about the work that they do. They don't care if it's fulfilling. They don't care if it's not fulfilling. How many people do you know who want to be rubbish at life? And then ask yourself, how many of those people have the property investing success that you're working towards? You see, because I can assure you that 9 times out of 10, the people with the poor values, the people with the poor commitment, the people with the poor heart towards commitment, they're the same people with the poor results. As I shared with you guys earlier, guys, I'm being very transparent about this. Your success, your property investing success is actually hidden within the things you're committed to. So if you're committed to the activities necessary in order for you to have more property investing success, you will actually begin to unleash the success from inside of your commitment. You see, if you're committed to pushing the envelope with innovation, guys, let me share something with you. If you guys want value, write the word value in the chat. If you want me to give you some example of how today, this morning, in the early hours, 6 a.m., 7 a.m., I was writing in my journal something I'm going to be doing in the next couple of weeks / months. Let me know. Just write the word example in the chat or value in the chat. If we get enough values or example, I'll give you guys a clear example of something I'm going to do right now, okay, in the next couple of days / weeks in order to maximize revenue on one of the HMOs that we have. All right, guys, let me know. Let me know if you want that. Because of commitment, all right? This ain't just a gimmick. This ain't me just talking. This is because of commitment. This is because of my commitment to innovation. Commitment can be your game changer. Commitment can make you wealthier than you were supposed to ever be. Commitment could be the reason why people call you instead of calling the other guy. Commitment, guys. Commitment is the completion of your foundation. Okay? That's some good notes to write right there. Commitment is the completion of your foundation. Okay? When you turn your lights on and get committed to pushing the envelope, to innovating in your property investing journey, to doing things like other people haven't done. Let me tell you something. Some of the investors I've worked with, they've done things no one else has done, and they've reaped rewards and results and success that no one else has reaped. It's just embedded. Success is embedded within your commitment. It's embedded, but failure is equally embedded within your commitment. I need you guys to understand that. They're both embedded, okay? They're both embedded. It's not two different things. Your commitment will either be producing for you success on a day-to-day basis, or it will be producing for you failure on a day-to-day basis. Guys, it's your commitment. What are you committed to? What are you committed to? Are you committed to property investing success, or do you just think it's a great idea? Let me ask you that question. Are you committed to property investing success, or do you just think it's a great idea? That's a question you need to ask yourself every now and then. Am I committed to this thing, or do I just think this is a good idea? Am I committed to this thing, or am I just doing it because other people said it works? You see, guys, there's nothing wrong with that, but there's something wrong with living like that and believing you're committed. I know a lot of people like that. That's the funniest thing. I know a lot of people. Guys, most of yous will know. For the last 4.5 years, I have been invited around the country to speak on stages about property investing in its various different shapes and forms. I've done presentations at the National Landlord Investment Show speaking about how to raise creative financing. I've done shows at the landlord show in the Excel Exhibition Centre, one of the largest exhibitions in the UK that relates to property, speaking about creative property investing. And guys, let me tell you this, with all of the places I've spoken at, with all of the people I've spoken to, I meet so many people, and let me share with you, there are a lot of them who are only doing property because it sounds like a good idea. Guys, I'm telling you, there are so many people who are only doing property because it sounds like a good idea. It's got nothing to do with a commitment to their success. It's got nothing to do with a commitment to making sure property works for them. You see, my request is that you do not become that person. My request is that you make sure you're slightly different. My request is that you be the person who is committed to your property investing success. Be that person, be committed. Be that person, be different. Be that person who knows, I'm gonna make property investing success work for me. Be that person who's so committed when other people come around you, they sense the commitment. If you haven't already, guys, hit the like button. If you're getting value side by side with that, why don't you hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed to our channel. This is the Impact Properties YouTube channel where you get creative property investing on demand. And if you have hit the subscribe button, why not hit the bell notification so you can be kept up to date with every single time we drop a video. That includes when we go live, as well as when we drop our regular videos with you getting content upon content. Gavin says in the chat, decisions and choices going in. Thank you for your comment, Gavin. All right, guys, let me know in the chat if you guys have questions around commitment. Okay, this is what we want to do right now. We want to go into a little section where we're opening up questions and answers. Do you have specific questions around commitment to your property investing success? Do you have specific questions? All right, let me see if you guys have specific questions around commitment as it pertains to your property investing success. Do you have specific questions? All right, guys, it's the commitment that's going to make the difference. You got to be committed because your success or your failure is embedded within your commitment. I'll say that again. Your success and or your failure is embedded within your commitment. Are you committed? Are you committed to your property investing success? Are you committed? Okay. Another question is, are you waiting for someone else to bring commitment? Okay, because that happens every now and then. Every now and then you get people who are actually waiting for someone else to bring the commitment. You might have a property deal and you're waiting for someone else to get committed on the deal. You're waiting for someone else. You might be, again, I work with investors a lot. And what happens a lot of the time is an investor, because they're bringing their money in and they might be kind of like an armchair investor, they might be passive in the deal, they expect everyone else to be committed for them. Let me tell you something. Commitment is like an energy that feeds off of commitment. Okay, I want you to understand that. The reason I'm saying this is because if you understand how commitment works, you can come into a deal as a silent investor, bring a certain level of commitment, and it just energizes everybody. Everybody's more committed. Everybody's more fiery. Everybody's looking forward to the property investing success because you came with that energy of commitment. You see, commitment can make a massive difference. Commitment can make a massive difference. So let me know, guys. Let me know if you've got specific questions around commitment as it pertains to property investing success. Do you want to know how commitment works with these other things? Do you guys want some examples of some of the things I've been able to do because of the commitment that I've put into my property investing success? Let me know what you guys have in store in terms of questions around commitment as it pertains to your property investing success. All right? Let's see what you guys have got to say. Let me put another light on. It's another mode. This is the third mode, the midday mode. Let's go. Let me know, guys. Have we got questions in the chat? Or you guys want to let me off easy on this day 7, my favorite number? You want to let me off easy with no questions? Oh, you guys are so nice. That will be a surprise. First show with no questions. Let me know, guys. Let me know what questions you have. Property investing success, day 7. We're talking about commitment. Are you committed? Let me even ask you this question. Are you committed to ask a question? Are you committed enough to ask a question? Because I want to jump into the book recommendation. I want to share with you guys some other stuff. Okay? Let me know if you got questions, guys. Let's get these questions out of the way so we can push forward. All right? Are you guys committed to asking a question? Do you have a question in mind? Is there something that's in your mind and you're thinking, I need to ask Samuel this, but faith and fear, is it the faith and fear that's slowing you down, that's stopping you from asking the question that you want to ask, asking the question that you know you're supposed to ask? Is faith and fear playing with you right now? All right, let's jump in, guys. What is the question you have? What questions do you have? Let me know. Commitment, commitment, commitment. Okay? Commitment houses within itself your success and or your failure. Commitment houses within itself your success and or your failure. Let's see, guys. All right. Powerful, powerful, powerful. We got the first question in. No surprise, it comes from Gavin tonight. It's a powerful question. And you know why it's so powerful? Because of the book I was going to recommend today. So I think even me just saying that gives away the book that I plan to recommend today. But again, for some of you, you know, I don't want to steal the thunder. For some of you, you still wouldn't have got it yet. So let's see where we go with this. All right. So Gavin asked a powerful question. Okay. I think it's a really powerful question. I think it's a great question. Reason it's a great question is because it engages with and delves into multiple areas of life. And for many of us, this is our challenge. How do you manage multiple areas of life at once? Okay. And he says he's given us the LOL. Thank you for that, Gavin. That's okay. All right. No problem. You should have seen yesterday's show. I had the ladies dealing with me yesterday because of my inability to speak Spanish and French. But yeah, we had a lot of LOLs, laugh out louds yesterday. All right. So Gavin's question is, how do you show commitment to faith? Okay. And I think that's a powerful question. And I'm going to share one answer as my banner answer, as I usually like to do, so you guys have an answer, but then I'll go into it and kind of delve a bit deeper. So the first way that I ensure that I show commitment to faith is by making sure I don't shy away from it. Okay, now I'm assuming we're talking about the same kind of faith I mentioned the other day. I'm not talking about religion. I'm not talking about, you know, Islam, Christianity, Judaism. I'm not talking about all of that. I'm talking about faith. Okay, I'm talking about the substance of the thing that you hope for, the evidence of the things you haven't yet seen. I'm talking about the energy, the substance, the tangible thing that you're using as a fuel in order to achieve the things ahead of you. Now, again, obviously you can take that. Obviously, I just gave a definition which comes from the Bible. You can take that and apply that to the kind of faith you may be speaking about, but I'm assuming you're talking about the kind of faith that we were speaking about on day 4. Okay, and if you're not, like I said, what I'm going to share is still very, very relevant on a broader perspective in terms of spirituality, etc. So the simple answer, the nutshell answer, the concise summarized answer is the way that I ensure that I show commitment, and the way I encourage people to ensure they show commitment to faith, is by making sure they don't shy away from it. That's the nutshell answer. Be committed to not shying away from faith, from when it's time to be able to speak up, from when it's time to say what you've got to say, from when it's time to profess what you've got to profess about who you are, about what you're going into, about why your heart is there, about why you desire to be a part of this thing, about why you desire to get the results, etc., etc. The first, or the nutshell answer, is just be committed to not shying away from it. Okay, because we live in a day and age of the buzzwords. I'll give you some of the buzzwords. When I was working in education, and this was part of the reason I left education, one of the big buzzwords at that time was tolerance. Okay, one of the big buzzwords was tolerance. Now look, guys, I've got no problem with tolerating things, but I don't want to tolerate circumstances which I don't agree with. Okay, and I'm being very transparent, guys. I'm never going to change that stance. That's just my belief. Okay, I'll give you an example. All right, if I walk into a public toilet, okay, and that toilet is a mess, then I may choose to tolerate that toilet and walk out and say, you know what, I'm not going to utilize this toilet. I'm going to go to another toilet. Some people might classify that as a level of tolerance. Now, other people might argue and say, no, Samuel, you have not tolerated that toilet because you didn't choose to use that toilet. You walked away from that toilet. Now, the reason I walked away is because I know I've got a choice. And I strongly believe that choice, okay, massively supersedes the concept of tolerance. So because I believe choice, free will is what I call it, massively supersedes the concept, the ideology, the thought process of tolerance, what that basically allows me to do is when I'm in a position where I'm expected to tolerate something which I believe doesn't fit with what I'm trying to achieve, with what I'm trying to be committed to, then I will choose to not engage or to be tolerant, or choose to not be tolerant about that thing. So I think the example I gave first is a really good example about the public toilet. Okay? Now, why is this example so relevant, and how does this example shift into something even more relevant? Okay? It shifts into something even more relevant when you go and visit one of your HMOs and then you walk into the toilet. Okay? Because we've now gone from a property you don't own, a public toilet, where you've not agreed with its standard because you hopefully have a standard. And as a result, you've said, I'm not going to be tolerant of this. I'm going to choose to commit to something else, a higher standard. So I'm not going to use that toilet, that lavatory, for example. And you may choose to go somewhere else. And now, when you go into one of your properties and you see a toilet being treated or being used a certain way, you see, now it's your responsibility. So the question is, are you going to be tolerant? Are you going to say, no, that's fine. I don't live here. I don't sleep here. They can use the toilet as they want. Now, look, let me say this because I want this to help the context of those of you who are listening to this to really understand what I'm talking about. You see, there are so many property investors who make statements such as, all of my properties are the type of property I could live in myself. Okay, have you ever heard that before? All right. If you've ever heard that before, just write in the chat, heard it. Okay, heard it. This is the funniest thing. There are so many property investors who make statements like that. All of my properties are at the standard where at least I would see myself living in it. Okay, now, again, I'm not saying this to mock. I'm not saying it to say it's right. I'm not saying it to say it's wrong. I'm saying it to give you context and to show you something. The reason why so many property investors make statements like that is because these investors, they have a standard. These investors want their property that they're renting to other people, that they're generating incomes from, to at least be at the standard that they feel comfortable to live in themselves. So what that means is those investors, if they're going to be true to themselves hand on heart, those investors would not tolerate certain things happening a certain way. So when we come into Gavin's question, which is a powerful question, how do you show commitment to faith? For me, like I said, the nutshell answer is making sure you don't shy away from it. Making sure that when there's an opportunity and you're being challenged about your faith, that you're able to speak about it. You're able to say, no, this is what I believe in and this is why I believe in it. Okay? It's funny again, there's a verse in the Bible. It says you should be willing at all times to confess in the thing you believe in. Okay? Let me see if I can find that verse of scripture and share it with you guys. Okay? It says, paraphrasing it, it basically says you should be willing at all times to confess the thing in which you believe in. Now, that in a nutshell is my answer. In a nutshell, what I'm saying is the first way that you make sure you show a commitment to faith is by not shying away from it. You know, there's going to be certain organizations, maybe housing associations, just to give you guys an example, okay? And I'm saying this because I've had these experiences. There may be housing associations who want to house certain kinds of tenants, okay? And they say to you, these are the kinds of tenants we want to house. And if you have a faith complex with the type of tenant they want to house, you shouldn't be quiet about it. You shouldn't be quiet about it. That's what I believe. I believe you shouldn't be quiet about it. I think you should say something about it. Now, you don't have to conform them or force them to change how they do things, but you should at least say you're not happy to do it that way. Okay? That's my strong belief. So I've given you my summary. I'm going to go a bit deeper. Hopefully, if I can find what I'm looking for. And if there's anyone in the chat who's a student of the Bible and knows the verse that I'm paraphrasing, it is in the New Testament, feel free to just throw the address in the chat. You can do that as well. Okay. Haven't been able to find it with the quick search. But again, this is something we can drop in the description of the video for you guys in order to get that. All right, so let me go a bit deeper with Gavin's question because I really want to give you guys value from this. So commitment to faith. Now, let me bring it into the context I'm talking about because I want people to understand exactly what I'm talking about as well. Look at me. I'm vehemently searching for this right now. But yeah, we'll put it in the description of the video so we can keep pushing forward with the show. So where was I at now? Whoo! Love that. Destiny's Child Soldier 1. Are you new to the show? If you're new to the show, write the word new. Let us know that you're new. But Destiny's Child Soldier, I appreciate you. You've got it spot on. 1 Peter chapter 3 verse 15. If someone asks about your Christian hope, always be ready to explain it. That is probably a more contemporary version, but yes, that's a very good paraphrase nonetheless. Thank you ever so much. Destiny's Child Soldier, I believe you've said, is the YouTube name. Thank you ever so much. Appreciate that. Yeah, what I'm going to do, if I can, really quickly, I'm going to throw that in. Just to make sure that I'm on the same page. Yep, that's it. 1 Peter 3:15. Okay, I'm going to share it with you guys in the King James Version just because it meets. Adrian, thank you ever so much, Adrian. I love that. All right, so here we go. 1 Peter 3:15. Exactly the same thing. Just throwing it in the Old English. Hopefully that will help. You see how I got to the paraphrase that I had. But Adrian, thank you ever so much for that. Much appreciated. All right, guys. So let's go deeper. Okay, let's go deeper. I want to give you guys even more value. So we spoke a moment ago about commitment. We had Gavin asked a specific question, which I thought was extremely powerful. How do you show commitment to faith? Okay. Now, I shared with you guys that in terms of answering the question, how do you show commitment to faith? I'm not just talking about religion. I'm not just talking about those things, because for those of you who were with us on day 4, when we spoke about faith and fear, I said to you very clearly, we're not speaking about religion here. Okay, we're not speaking about the spiritual aspect. We're speaking about the emotional, intense structure and source power of faith and the source power of fear that cause people to do crazy things, or that cause people to do unheard of things, which later on we say, look at this guy, he broke records. Look at this guy, he set benchmarks. Look at this guy, he changed the world because of his faith. Okay, so when we're talking about faith, like I said, I used the Bible definition. Faith is the substance of the things you hope for, the evidence of things not yet seen. Okay, so like I said, the first thing is don't shy away from it. And Adrian's given us this great definition here from 1 Peter 3:15. If someone asks about your Christian hope, okay, or I can say if someone asks about your faith, okay, always be ready to explain it. Okay, and this makes sense, because if you believe in something, you should be ready to explain it. So now let's bring this into the context of property investing success, which is what we're talking about here. Okay, let's say you took exactly what we gave you on day 3, where we let the gauntlet out and it was on fire. You've created a vision for your property investing success. Your property investing success looks like this. You've defined it. You are clear about your property investing success. Now, straight after being clear about your property investing success, let's say the next thing that you do is you now shift gears into analyzing where you have faith and where you have fear around those specific goals. Okay? Now, the question, coming back to Gavin's question in this new context, how do you show commitment to your faith? Well, the way you show commitment to your faith is you don't just say you believe in what you have articulated as your vision for property investing success, but you teach that, you share that, you give that, you see how that is real, not just for you, but for other people, okay? And you present that to the world. Like I said, in the summative answer I gave a moment ago, don't shy away from it. But in the more expansive answer, I want you guys to understand that what you guys see as your vision of property investing success can be achieved when you implement your faith into it. It can be achieved when you have faith for it. One of the books that we recommended on one of the previous days was Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And I shared with you guys Napoleon's most famous quote. Napoleon's most famous quote is, whatever the human mind can think or believe, it can achieve. I'll say it again for those of you who are taking notes on the show. Whatever the human mind can think or believe, it can achieve. What is Napoleon talking about? If you look in the book, Think and Grow Rich, he's talking about faith. I'll say it again. If you look in the book, Think and Grow Rich, he's talking about faith. So guys, I want you guys to be plugged into this. I want you guys to be tuned into this. Okay, this ain't just about hitting the like button, hitting subscribe. No, guys, this is about the reality of how you prepare yourself and then position yourself to shift to the next level in your property investing success. So we've kind of spoken about both aspects, the kind of spiritual aspect in terms of faith, but also in terms of the practical aspect. Don't shy away from it. Don't be that guy who gets home and says to himself, why didn't I say something? Don't be that guy who gets home and says to himself, why didn't I do something else? Let me share something with you guys for you to see how real this is. Yesterday, okay, I spoke on yesterday, day 6, about I conducted 3 viewings for a specific property that we're in the process of renting out. When I got back home yesterday, I spoke to my wife about the viewings I conducted, okay? And guys, I'm just going to keep it very real. You're going to say, oh, Samuel, you're being extra, or your wife's being extra, or whatever. Guys, if that's your view, that's fine. It's not a problem. I just want to give you guys how clear and I just want to be very clear and transparent with you guys for you to understand exactly my heart about the things we're talking about here, okay? Now, Gavin's asked a question. I hope and believe Gavin's question's out of sincerity. So if it's okay, guys, can I answer you out of sincerity as well? All right. So if I can do that, let me see the word yes in the chat. Okay. Let me see 4 or 5 yeses in the chat. and then I'll share with you guys an experience I had yesterday which emulates exactly what we're talking about right now. All right? Now, I've already said to you guys earlier, if you want some examples about how I've used commitment to shift things around, and one of the ways I'm going to use commitment to actually shift things right now in one of my HMOs, let me know by writing the word example in the chat. Okay? But if I get 4 or 5 of the words yes, then I will share with you guys exactly an experience I had yesterday. Okay? So for 5 yeses, I'm going to share with you guys an experience I had yesterday, which speaks exactly to what Gavin's question was about how do you show commitment to faith. But equally, okay, if I get 2 or 3 examples, I'm going to give you guys an example of something I'm doing right now. I'm going to be doing in the next couple of days / weeks in one of our HMOs in order to turn up our cash flow because of commitment. Okay, because of commitment, utilizing commitment. I'm seeing the yeses coming. All right. We got 3 yeses. We're 2 yeses down, and we are 2 examples down. Let me see it in the chat, guys. Let me see it in the chat. If you don't want it, I won't give it. Let's put it that way. If you guys want it, let's get it. All right. So again, Adrian, thank you for that verse. That was a timely intervention. Appreciate you. All right. So we got yes, yes, yes. 4, 5. We got 5 yeses. So let's jump in. All right. So yesterday, okay. Yesterday I conducted 3 viewings at a specific property. Straight after I conducted these 3 viewings at the specific property, I had a few other things I was doing. I went to visit one of our HMOs, one of our new HMOs that we've just taken on. And then straight after that, I ended up going home to see my wife. Now, usually what I do in our business, because obviously my wife's involved in my business, I have a chat with her and share with her, look, this is the summary of what happened today. What's your thoughts, etc., etc. And I said to my wife, look, this is one of the tenants that viewed one of the properties. This is her situation. This is her scenario. She's a young lady, single mother. Well, she's not a single mother. She's a young lady who's not living with the father of her baby, but her baby's 4 months old. Okay, they're not separate. Okay, she's young, baby's 4 months old. They viewed the property. Now, when they viewed the property, I asked a question. Okay, and I said, I don't know if I'm prying. Okay, so the people that came to the property was not specifically the girl and the father of the baby, but the girl and some of her family members. And I said to the girl, I said to her, look, I said, am I prying too much if I ask the question? Okay, and that question that I'm asking is, where's the father of the baby? Okay, I asked, am I prying too much to ask where's the father of the baby? And the response was this, okay? The response was, he currently lives in his parents' house, okay? So I assume that's how he's living right now. But obviously, if the young lady is able to acquire a place like this, then the father of the baby could potentially spend a lot more time with her and potentially with the baby, all right? Now, you can interpret that to mean hundreds of thousands of things, all right? Everyone is entitled to interpret that in their own way. The way I interpreted it was, if this young lady is successful to rent out this property, in a matter of time, this young lady will not be the only tenant in the property, because you will additionally have the young lady's father of her baby in the property as well. Okay, and look, guys, we all know that couples have people over, and that's fine as long as it's within moderation, as we all should agree. So I get home and I talk to my wife about this. I share the same thing with my wife, and my wife says something interesting. Okay, guys, I'm just being open with you guys. My wife says to me, you know what? I don't want anyone fornicating in that house. Okay, now Gavin asked the question. The question he asks is, how? Okay? And it's a powerful question. How do you show commitment to your faith? What did I answer, guys? You don't shy away from what you believe. So this yesterday example, the reason I wanted to give that to you guys, if you guys wanted that, is to show you guys how clearly you may be able to make decisions based on the things you believe. My wife said to me, now look, guys, I'm going to share with you guys some practical stuff. The reality is you don't know who's doing what, where. You don't know if somebody tells you, oh yeah, brother, I believe what you believe, brother. Hey, sister, I believe what you believe, sister. And then they show up and they're doing something opposite. You don't know. But the reality is, if you don't do something about what you do know, you're not going to have an opportunity to do stuff about the things you don't know. Now, someone will say, hey, but you're losing rent, because if you spend another day without necessarily renting out that space, then that's another day where you could have got paid. And this is where you need to have your values in your vision clearly articulated. You need to know whether money is the most paramount picture of the pinnacle of your property investing success, or the support that you're providing people, or the value that you're giving people, or the insights that you share with people when they come into one of your properties and see, oh wow, this is this or that is that, for example. All right. So guys, I wanted to share that with you, for those of you who wanted that, to show you guys how clearly, as early as of yesterday, there's an example on the table right here of how you can show your commitment to your faith. Now, if you believe in something, you should stand for it. You shouldn't shy away from it. So this is exactly what we're talking about. So hopefully that was of value to you guys. Now, I'm going to check if I had enough examples in the chat. And then I said I was going to give you guys an example of one of the things we're going to be doing fairly soon in terms of one of our HMOs, in order to ramp up some of the money in the property. And again, this goes back to what I was talking about in terms of commitment has your success embedded within it, and commitment also has failure embedded within it. Well, we've only got one example. Okay, we've only got one example, so we won't be doing that. So let me jump into the book recommendation. All right, now hopefully you guys picked it up. You might have picked it up, you might not have picked it up, but when Gavin said what he said, I gave a kind of cheeky statement which alluded to the fact that you probably would already know the book I'm recommending for you guys on tonight's show. Now, the book I'm recommending for tonight's show is known by many people as the Good Book. Now, this book is thick, this book is chunky, but this book is worth reading more than any other book I've read in my life. And I'm just telling you that, and that's the real truth. This is the Bible. Now, let me be specific with you, all right? Oh my gosh, Samuel Cole, I love your comment. Don't get better than the Good Book. Now, let me say this to you guys, all right? Now, I'm saying this because I said this a few days ago, and I want to stand by this, guys. This ain't about religion. This is about wisdom, okay? In order for you to achieve property investing success, you are going to have to activate high levels of wisdom. And wisdom is what this book is massively made up from. Now, let me help you. I'm not just going to tell you, oh, go read the book, okay? Because I said today we're talking about commitment. So if we're talking about commitment, what has this got to do with commitment? Samuel, let me know the key to commitment. Here's the key to commitment. In 2004, I made a decision. That decision came because of something I heard from a coach. The coach said that he had spent 30 years of his life reading one proverb a day. Okay. Now, the book of Proverbs, for any of you who knows, is a book known as a book of wisdom. The reason why is because it's a bunch of proverbs stuck together. For those of you who do not know what a proverb is, I need to help some people out. Yesterday, like I said, I had some tenants that were young, so I'm realizing some people don't know certain things. A proverb is a saying or a principle in a succinct fashion. So it's a principle that's in one or two lines, okay? So in the book of Proverbs in the Bible, there are 31 chapters, okay? And obviously, those of you who know about the world or about the date, you will know that in every single month we have in the year, in the Gregorian calendar, the most amount of days you ever have are 31 days. So a number of years ago, in 2004, I heard a coach basically say that he has been reading one proverb a day for over 30 years. And I thought that was astounding. I thought to myself, you know what? That's a powerful concept, because obviously if the book of Proverbs is a book about wisdom and you are spending at least sometime every single day in that book, you are radically putting yourself at an advantage to other people. You're going to be wiser than other people. Okay, now look, I'm not saying this to blow my own trumpet, but I've heard people say that about me. Okay, now you know the thing that's interesting? I decided to take the guy's advice in 2004, and I've been doing that since 2004, reading a proverb a day. So in a month like February, where there are 28 days, I will read from Proverbs chapter 1 to Proverbs chapter 28 minimum. Okay? Each day, on the first of the month, I'd read Proverbs chapter 1. On the second of the month, I'll read Proverbs chapter 2. On the third of the month, I'll read Proverbs chapter 3. On the fourth of the month, and so on and so on and so on. And when we have months with 31 days, I will obviously read all the way to Proverbs chapter 31. Now, the reason why this is so powerful, in my opinion, okay, is because it was a commitment that I made over 15 years ago, which is still serving me good today. So now let's bring this in with the example. If I've got enough examples in the chat, I don't think I even had enough examples in the chat. But if I had enough examples in the chat, I would connect this now with something else I was sharing with you guys earlier about a plan we have to increase income in a particular property. Now, this morning, okay, in my quiet time, every morning I try to have some devotional time. This morning, part of my devotional time, I actually read the associated proverb for today, if you think about what I've been sharing with you guys. So that was Proverbs chapter 7, okay? And as I read through Proverbs chapter 7, I took different notes, I wrote things down. You know, one of the most powerful things that stood out to me this morning as I read KTR is at it again. I love it. Thank you so much. One of the things I wrote down this morning as I was reading through Proverbs chapter 7 was it shows up quite early in the book of Proverbs, or in the chapter that I was reading. But in Proverbs chapter 7, it says you should make understanding your kinswoman, and you should make wisdom your sister. Okay, so I'll say that again. In Proverbs chapter 7, it says you should make understanding your kinswoman. Kinswoman just means your next of kin. Okay, your female next of kin. So you like your little sister, or like your wife, for example. Make understanding your wife. Okay, be connected to understanding things so well that it's as if you're married to understanding. Make understanding your wife. Make understanding your next of kin. Okay, and then equally with that, it says that you should make wisdom your sister. Okay, so this is what I was reading today in Proverbs chapter 7, which I thought was quite powerful. Okay, that was verse 4. Okay, that was in verse 4. Sister, wisdom, kinswoman, understanding. That's what like one of the little notes that I doodled down. Sister, wisdom, kinswoman, understanding. I hope I'm saying that correctly. So this is what I wrote down this morning. Sister, wisdom, kinswoman, understanding, with all of the other myriad of notes. Okay? And as I wrote that down, I had a thought. So I'm going to do this because KTR has thrown enough examples in all on her own. Guys, you want to be in your armchair giving a little round of applause for KTR. So I'm sitting down this morning, having my devotional time, then read the Proverbs chapter 7, wrote down a number of things, but that was one of my key notes: sister, wisdom, kinswoman, understanding. And then my thought process kind of hit me. Something hit me. Okay. So one of the HMOs that we have, when we took on the HMO, it was an 8-bedroom HMO. Okay. And as an 8-bedroom HMO, we were generating £1,400 a month net profit from that property. Okay. So I'm going to say that again, because some of you, you don't believe the concept I've shared with you over these last couple of weeks about quality over quantity. Okay. So one of the HMOs we took on some time ago, a number of years back, we were generating as an 8-bedroom HMO, £1,400 per month as a net profit, okay, after all expenses, etc., etc., etc. So that was a really good deal that we took on a number of years ago, and it's been a great deal for a number of years. Now, some of you will know that the HMO legislation changed in October of 2018, and that change has been filtering through over the last couple of years. Long story short, in 2019, the end of 2019, when kind of the time period for that change had kind of really come abruptly, we ended up putting in a new application for that HMO. Okay, and the reason we did that is because we knew that we were going to have to change things. So we thought, let's use this opportunity to do so. So we did that. Now, since doing that, we've had our liaison meetings with the HMO officer, we've had site visits, etc., etc., and we made a decision that we were going to go for a 6-bedroom HMO in that house, okay, with the option to take 2 rooms, which were fairly small rooms, okay, on the smaller side. Now, the particular borough where this property is, those 2 small rooms were not below the national guidelines, okay? And previously, before October of 2019, that particular borough kept to the national guidelines. It didn't have its own specific borough-wide guidelines. So we were chilling, okay? So then we decided to put in the end of 2019 a HMO application for this specific property and go from 8 bedrooms to 6 bedrooms, because we knew that now that they had taken on their own guidelines in the borough, those specific 2 rooms would become too small, okay? And because they'd become too small, they would basically be rendered redundant. So we spoke about different things we could do. One of the ideas that I brought up was potentially breaking the wall between one of the smaller rooms and one of the larger rooms, so that larger room can be much more expansive, okay? Now, we were playing with these ideas. These 2 rooms are fairly small rooms. They're just below the 6-point blah, blah, blah size meterage. So we said to ourselves, okay, what are we going to do? Now, let me tell you something. Throughout the whole of 2020, okay, we've been making no money in those 2 rooms, okay, because the rooms have been vacant. All right. Now, the house still turns over a very good profit, okay, but it's not £1,400 per month. So the team have been thinking about things for quite a while. But this morning, because of my commitment to innovation, because of my commitment to making things work, to my property investing success, I've got a benchmark, okay, a certain amount of money I expect to make from each of the units that we have in our portfolio. So I say to myself, well, if this property is now £300 below that, how do we get that property to the numbers as a minimum that it needs to be in our portfolio? Otherwise, it shouldn't be in our portfolio, because we have a portfolio threshold, we have a project threshold. So the idea comes this morning, okay? This morning, I'm reading Proverbs chapter 7. I'm hearing that wisdom should be my sister, understanding should be my kinswoman. What that means is spend time with wisdom, spend time with thinking outside of the box, spend time with understanding things and thinking about things. And I said to myself, you know what? I could spend £1,000, okay, on some smart technology, smart plugs, okay, CCTV cameras, smart cameras, okay, a smart lock, and a few other things, desks, Wi-Fi boosters, and turn both of those spaces into mini hot desk offices. Okay. Now, these are not going to be hot desk offices we're offering out to people on the street for them to come in. But we know that our market has always been professional tenants. So in this particular property, we know out of the 6 tenants who already reside in that property, there's going to be a good demand for those tenants to have a space where outside of their room, outside of a communal area, they can take their laptops, they can get set up, they can have maybe a good background, and very simply start to engage with their clients or their employers, etc., etc. Now, obviously, that is probably going to cost something. So I sat down this morning with sister wisdom and kinswoman understanding and started to flesh out that plan. I did the whole budget, everything, breaking down exactly what we would put inside of those spaces in order for those 2 rooms, which have been deemed below minimum room size, to both become income generating spaces. Guys, this is the power of commitment. Because when you're committed to hitting your numbers, when you're committed to your success, like I said, success is hidden within your daily activity. You see, when I go and take this daily activity and throw out £1,000 now, and then say to these guys in the property, look, we're going to have 2 rooms available for working from home in this current climate, guys. Now, I even wrote down some tariffs. If you want to know the tariffs, someone write the word tariff in the chat and I'll share with you the tariffs. Just some ideas, but I'll share it with you guys because I want to be that transparent. I want you guys to understand how being committed to your property investing success sets a different bar than the bars other people are living by. Okay? So I wrote here, 2 smart locks. Obviously, it's 2 different rooms. So 2 smart locks. Okay. Put the price here, roughly £200. You should be able to pick up a good smart lock for around £100. I put here smart cameras, 4 of them. Put the little budget price there. Door signage. I put £50 for door signage. Front door locks changed. So the actual front door of the house, we're going to change those locks just for additional precaution because we're now going to be putting in this new equipment in the other rooms. Okay. So front door locks ×2. I've put here 10 keys. I've put all the keys, who they need to go to. 6 of them to residents. My key, lockbox key, blah, blah, blah. I've put here smart plugs ×6. Okay. And obviously, guys, I'm doing a lot of this for 2 different rooms. So you can kind of half this stuff. If you've got a room which is below minimum size, you can use this idea. You can take your brother Samuel's wisdom, okay, which he got from sister wisdom and kinswoman understanding, and use it in one of your HMOs or one of your rent to rents so you can maximize your revenue. Just as an idea, I'm just sharing this with you guys. So I put here chairs ×4, smart plugs ×6, desks ×6. So we're going to go for the smaller desks, but we're going to put a number of them in there so that those desks can be configurable rather than have a massive desk. And I hope you guys understand why. I've put here whiteboards ×2. So we're going to have whiteboards, desks, smart plugs, chairs, front door locks, door signage, smart cameras, smart locks. I didn't even put it here, but one of the things that I've thought of since is also having smart lights in there. Okay, that will help us to control the tariffs that we're talking about. Okay, smart lights. And there was one other thing that came to me earlier on, which I'll write down later. So I wrote all of these things down and I said to myself, you know, if we get this stuff in, we'd be able, from using this stuff, to create an environment which we can turn on and turn off from anywhere in the world. And thus we can charge for it. So I've got Samuel who said in the chat tariff. I've got KTR who said in the chat tariff. So let me share with you guys just the idea of the tariff I've put here. And you've got to bear in mind that we're going to have 2 of these in the property I'm talking about. So you might not have 2. This tariff might not be ideal for you, but this is, again, because we know we've got 2 and we've got 6 occupants. So we're trying to ideally lock in at least 2 people on each, 1 person on each room as a minimum, okay, in terms of the 24-hour tariff, okay? But you'll get there in a moment anyway. And again, guys, look, I'm here for you guys. This is what the live show's about. This is day 7. We're talking about commitment, the end of your foundation. The completion of your foundation is commitment. That's the day 7 principle. If you guys have questions about commitment, if you guys have questions about anything I'm talking about, guys, ask your questions. Because when I jump off this live show, if you're not one of our students, if you're not one of my coaching clients, you're not going to be able to ask me these questions. You might try to message me or WhatsApp me or try and get a meeting with me. Guys, listen, the people that get the most value out of me are the people that have put themselves in the right position to do that. Okay? Use the live show. That's what I'm trying to say to you. Use the live show. Be one of the people like KTR who has contributed to our oncoming studio build. If you need the link to be able to participate in contributing to our studio build, let me know. Write the word link in the chat. But guys, be someone who puts themselves out there as someone who's committed. Because guys, I'm giving you a whole bunch of value here. And we only ask you to hit the like button, press subscribe. You need to really think about how you position yourself to get even more value. Okay? Because there's a lot more than this stuff. But let's jump in. So the tariff I wrote here was this. £100 per month for 6 a.m. to 12 p.m. as a window. Okay? So you have a tenant who's already living in the property, who's already paying us rent every single month, who now might say, look, I would love to have access to a private office inside of the house. Okay? Now, we can't rent that room out. We can't. It's illegal. Okay? After we get our license complete with that property, we will not be able to rent that room out. Okay? We can't charge people to sleep in that room. But we can add subsidies on people's rent in order for them to utilize the space. We could have used the space as storage. We could have used the space as so many other things. Guys, I'm just trying to let you know that when you operate with wisdom as your sister and understanding as your kinswoman, some of these ideas will drop on you in a day and you will be shocked at how you're now making the same amount of money you were making before, even though you're doing things completely differently. So the first thing we wrote here is tariff number 1 is a half day tariff effectively. So it's £100 per month, which will be added to the tenant's rent for 6 a.m. to a 12 p.m. access to that room. And again, I've shared with you guys the kind of smart technology that's going to be in there. So we can turn this stuff off by utilizing an app. Okay? We can go into an app, turn this stuff off. My studio here right now, my office here, guys, most of the stuff in here, a lot of the lights in here are all smart lights. This stuff can get turned on, turned off in an instant with a phone, with a voice command. Okay? And again, guys, those of you who want to be on our journey with the studio build, let us know. Let us know how you want to contribute. If you guys want us to capture it on video. We had one person, I think Antonio, who said, you know what, I think it would be good, Samuel, in the comments. I think it would be good if you captured it on video, how you build out the purpose-built studio. Guys, this stuff is going to have smart technology. These are the kind of things we like to use. So if you're interested in that, let us know, guys. Let us know what you're interested in, because the channel is here for you. The channel's not here for me. Okay? I'm going to be doing this stuff regardless. And those of you who know me know that. Okay? So the first tariff, 6 a.m. to 12 p.m. Now, the reason we put that tariff is because we know in that property, there's a specific tenant who leaves really, really early because he works. I think his job starts somewhere like 8 a.m. So I knew that having something from somewhere early, like 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. more reasonably would work for him. Okay. And using smart technology, again, something some people may not know, but you can use smart technology to set up routines. So we can say all of the electricity in that room, all of the lights in that room, and the locks on the door for that room can all be on from 5:55. The minute it hits 5:55 a.m., the key lock on the door becomes able to be to have a code punched in. The minute it hits 5:55 a.m., the light switch starts to work. You won't be able to turn the light on before 5:55 a.m. You won't be able to use any of the electrical sockets in the room before 5:55 a.m. This is possible with smart technology, guys. Okay? So first tariff, 6 a.m. to 12 p.m., £100 per month. Or second tariff, 2 p.m. to 10 p.m., £150 per month. Okay? And then we had a 24-hour tariff, which was roughly around £200 per month. Okay, so that's not access to both rooms, that's access to one room. Okay, and obviously we want to set the tariff in a way where ideally one of the tenants says to us, I'll pay you for 24-hour access to the room. Because if one tenant says, I'll pay you for 24-hour access to the room, then we know that that room becomes off limits to the other tenants. And now we only have one tenant to manage with that room. Okay. And obviously in terms of house cleaning, housekeeping, all of that, it just makes things easier. Now, the reason we put a gap in the middle of the day is because all of our tenants are professional tenants. They have been professional tenants. So 9 times out of 10, unless they're working from home, which some of them are, not all of them, but some of them are right now, they're not going to be there at that break time. And that also gives us a great little window for us to have the cleaner go in, because our cleaners usually attend the properties middle of the day. So that gap between 12 and 2, we've held that gap just so that we can have the cleaner in. But again, this stuff is tentative. This stuff is just ideas that we've put out there to see what's going to happen. We're going to propose this to the tenants. We're going to see the kind of uptake. If it's of interest, we'll spend the money. We'll get the stuff done. Now you think of it like this. If we have one of these rooms taken on a £200 per month rate, and it costs us £1,000 to get both of these rooms up and running, okay, we've made our money back on both rooms investment in just 5 months. So by the time we get to the end of the year, we've got 7 months of profit on the investment of £1,000 that we're putting into those rooms. Okay. And these are rooms which otherwise would have been left redundant, left to be used as storage. Some of you who follow me on Facebook or have been seeing my YouTube videos for quite a while, you might have seen a video which I did, I think it was on Facebook months back, where I had one of my students who had extra property stuff. They had extra beds and stuff. And I said to them, go use one of my rooms. And they just stored it in one of my rooms. So these rooms have been effectively redundant. But now with wisdom, with commitment, with understanding, we've seen how we can rejuvenate that and turn that into an income generator again. Okay. So just imagine if we get 2 of these rooms let on a 24-hour tariff each. Okay. That's more income into the property again. Equally, side by side with that, imagine if people say, oh, £200 too much, but I'll pay £100 for the morning shift. We could have a morning shift on each of the property, on each of those rooms, and an evening shift on each of those rooms. Now we're talking roughly £250 per room, and 4 people with the opportunity to use that. All right. So guys, if you're getting value from this show so far, just write the word value in the chat. Let me know you're getting value. If you haven't hit the like button, hit that like button. Let the YouTube world know that this is the kind of content that every single person in the world needs to be seeing if they're interested in their property investing success. Guys, let's keep pushing forward. All right. So I've shared with you guys the book recommendation for today. It is the Bible. Okay. Specifically, it is the book of Proverbs in the Bible. And if you guys want a system to read through the book of Proverbs, the way I would encourage you to do that potentially is the way I started doing that in 2004 by reading 1 proverb a day as a minimum. And that allows you to go through the book of Proverbs every single month of every single year and squeeze out the wisdom, squeeze out the knowledge, squeeze out the understanding. Now, side by side with that, if you haven't gone and got this resource already, go and get that now. That is the 7 best books for your property investing success. You can get that very simply by going to the link impactproperties.co.uk/book list. I'll say it again, impactproperties.co.uk/book list. And one more time for those people who really want to write it down, impactproperties.co.uk/book list. Now, without further ado, I'm seeing the value in the comments. Guys, if you have not registered to the upcoming masterclass, we have another masterclass on Monday, the 11th of January, where we're going to be breaking down how you can take full advantage in this current climate and still win. Guys, there are a lot of people in their property journey right now who are losing. All right. And that's for various different reasons. But let me tell you something. Now is the time for you to take advantage in this current property climate and win. So guys, I want to help you win. Jump onto the masterclass. You can register Monday at 8 p.m. and be a part of that. Now, for next week, Monday and Tuesday, we will not be having our 21 days of property investing success at 8 p.m. Okay. On Monday, we'll be having it earlier. So guys, if you haven't subscribed, hit subscribe so you can be kept up to date by the notifications. And on Tuesday, we'll probably be having it on midday. Okay, so all of the Tuesdays coming up Our 21 days of property investing success will still happen, but it will usually happen probably on Tuesday at midday. Now, guys, without further ado, thank you ever so much for your comments about value. I've been your host, Samuel I Can Win Akinwem. Guys, share this content with someone. Let someone else join the 21 days of property investing success because of the value you've got, and you say to yourself, you know what, I need to share this with someone else. But with all of that being said, as I usually say, guys, happy investing.